All right, everybody. Now, in this next video, we're going to talk about how to make text boxes, how to create the borders that are oh so beautiful, and how to try to make everything uniform. Okay, so back to my Halloween slide example, and you notice I've already made a text box here. It's got kind of Halloween themed colors with the orange and the green and the black with the Halloween style font. Now, how did I do this? Some of you might already know, some of you might have no idea. So here's how. You go up to the Shapes option in the top of there, the toolbar. Go to Shapes, and you have tons of different shapes to choose from. But you want to try to keep it uniform. You want to try to use the same, few shapes over and over. You don't want every single thing being in a different shape. That's one aspect of uniformity. Pick or choose two or three and stick to those. So I'm going to pick the square here. And then you just make it as big as you need to make it. All right, that's how you start out. Now, that looks okay, but it could obviously look better. So one thing I always like to do is add borders to all of my text boxes. And you can go as small as like a 1 point border, which is, there's no, like, why would you only do 1 point? Or you could go crazy and do a 24-point border. That's a little bit much for me. What I typically do in most of my slides is a 3-point border, but for this example, I did 4-point. Feel free to do it whatever size you want. Now you pick your border size here. This lets you pick the border color, and you can do any color that you want. But once again, we're shooting for uniformity. We want this to be visually appealing, so we're trying to maintain a certain theme. Now, there's a little bit of orange, kind of some golden yellow. There's lots of black in this background, so we would like for our text boxes and our text and everything else we do to sort of match up. Same thing with my through the tunnel example. Notice all of my boxes have a kind of transparent blue background, and I picked a couple of orange boxes to sort of match the goggles on the Jerry character. So you want to try to keep all of your boxes, all of your text boxes and whatnot uniform with everything else in your presentation, right? I have this orange and black wallpaper, so that doesn't make any sense for me to pick, like pink as a border color. That would be silly. So I'm going to pick orange. Now, I didn't really like the way the orange looked that it was given, so I went down here to custom and I made my own custom orange. And you can do that by clicking this guy, and you can create whatever color that you want. Okay? And then to fill in the box, the background of the box, you click this guy, this paint can tipping over for fill color, and you pick whatever color you want to fill it in with. And I think that's the same one. Now, if you want to get really fancy, something else you can do down here at the custom is you can make your box transparent or semi-transparent. Now, if you make it all the way transparent, there's nothing there at all. So something I sometimes like to do is give it just a little bit of transparency. See, that way you can kind of see through it, but not all the way. But for this example, we're not going to do any transparency. But it's an option if you would like for it to be. Notice in my through the tunnel example here, I made these down here transparent so we could see through them and see Jerry's body behind them. Kind of transparent up here as well. You can see the rocks behind. So that's an option. Depends on, how creative you want to get. Last thing, your font. Just like everything else, you want to try to keep your font uniform. Stick with one font throughout your entire slide. All right, and all of my slides that I do for class, I stick to the Acme font. That's my favorite one. And I use that same font in all of these as well in my Through the Tunnel. But if I'm doing a Halloween themed slide, I would like for there to be maybe a creepy font, something that was kind of Halloween-ish. So I'm going to center and center, and then I'm going to pick a creepy font. Now, you have a ton here that are already given to you, and this is a dangerous rabbit hole to go down, so try not to spend too much time doing it. But if you click on more fonts, there are tons of other options that you can add to your Google Docs and Google Slides. I mean, there are just tons and tons, and the list never seems to ever end. All right. So earlier today, actually, someone in my first period class turned me on to the Eater font, and I really liked it. It's very creepy looking. So I'm going to use that one. Happy Halloween, exclamation. Then I'm going to enlarge. Got to highlight first though. Try to make it fill out, and that's about the same size. And that is how you make really awesome looking text boxes. And you're going to need text boxes for your one pager in order to, encompass your 3-character traits along with the quotes that back them up, as well as your theme statement. And you might even use text boxes for your universal ideas. All right, so that is how you do that. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helped you guys out. I hope that blew your minds. I hope that gives you some ideas to get a little bit more creative. And if you're ready to go and find the text box that works for you, go for it.